What is up, everybody? Back at it again. It's been a long time. This episode is going to be on my 86. It is sitting in pieces right now. Rear end is out of the car. I will explain all of that in just a second. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what's going on with the 86, and then we're going to go over to Danny's house and start working on my rear end that needs to be rebuilt. So let's just get right into it. All right, this is the current condition of my 86. It is a long ways away from what it was when I parked it in here. Basically, the fender was crunched, the white fender, because I got hit. I was hit here last summer. I was smashed in the fender, and basically I hit a curb and the lip came off. I ran it over. My alignment got super messed up and just a bunch of crap happened. And it's been crunched this whole time. I just kind of hammered it out. And if you follow me on Instagram, you can't really tell in the photos, but it looks pretty shitty in person. So I got this fender from Danny. I put this on here. I plan on repainting it, paint matching it white. I'm also going to paint match the top of the bumper. So stay tuned for that. I've been doing stuff on the engine. I had to get this timing sprocket off, and I've tried to get that off in the past. It wouldn't come off. So I ended up throwing the timing back together. The oil leak got so bad it was like spraying oil in my bay, which is a no-go, and also I can't take it to the track if it's leaking oil like that. So I got weird and I welded a puller to it, and I tried to heat this thing up like red hot. I tried to do a bunch of stuff, it wouldn't come off. So this is my last resort. I welded a puller to it and it came off, thankfully. And so now that that's off, I got to do like the front main. I got to do the oil pan gasket, which I'm really not looking forward to. I spent 3-4 months working on this 4AG classic looking 3D printed timing cover set, the middle one and this one. And I've been working on these 3D printed stacks that I designed, and the coil on plug adapter, oil catch can, a lot of other little stuff that I've been kind of jumping around on. But basically, I blew the rear end up at the track in August. The last time I drove this thing, it started making a ton of noise. It was really like howling. I don't know if you can hear that, but rear end is toast. It's whining like crazy. I mean, if the pinion spacer went out or the backlash is whatever, like, that's fine. We just want to make it home. But she's whining pretty bad. I thought it was I think it's the main, or the crush spacer, the pinion spacer. The OEM one is like a crush sleeve. I think that failed, so I got a solid pinion spacer and a bunch of bearings. Hence, that's why I'm going to Danny's house. We're going to put all the bearings on it and put it all back together, and hopefully I can get it back in here. But I just have to paint this. I have to get the engine back together. I have to get the radiator back in, bumper, rear end back in. I'm going to do some other stuff. Interior's basically taken apart too. The seat's not in because I had a racing seat in here for the track. And yeah, I've just it's just kind of in shambles right now. But it will be all worth it once it's all done, because that crushed fender was really bothering me for a long time. Just made the car feel like a piece of crap. And I mean, I guess the rear end now has to be done. It didn't need to before, but that oil leak has always been annoying. So I'm just going to be doing a lot of stuff on this thing, trying to get it ready for summertime. I want it to be nice again. I want to be able to take it to a car show and not have a crunched fender or oil splattering in my engine bay. I want to be able to take it to the track without it breaking. So, you know, I got this idle air control valve that I'm going to hook up, and I'm just going to try to get this thing running and driving super mint, so I can just enjoy it all summer, and it's just nice, you know, no BS. But anyway, let's head straight over to Danny's house and let's start working on this diff, and then after that we'll come back here and figure out what's going on. All right, we're here at Danzig's shop. It's Danny.
Hi.
He's gonna be rebuilding my diff for me, and he's gonna be walking us through the process of what it takes to rebuild a diff.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
But, you know, we don't actually have to do the LSD. That's fine. But we got to do the bearings and a solid pinion spacer, because that's what we think failed.
We think. Also, the ring and pinion got really hot. You can tell. I don't know if you can really see it on the camera or not, but Yeah, I can hardly see it right now.
see it right
but there's
here.
like there's some discoloration of that ring gear there. So who knows? Maybe we'll put it together and it'll still whine like crazy. But fingers crossed it'll at least be strong.
Right? I mean, I don't even care if it whines because that's like the nostalgic 8.6 HAL. You know what I'm saying? It's like most people deal with it. I know. It shouldn't be something that people like got used to and like, but I'm one of those
But it
people.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
My fucking rear end in my first Corolla whined for like ever. So
Yup.
I get it. The car smelled like gear oil inside.
Yeah, once you get the gear oil in there, it never comes out. Got to take the bearings off of the diff. Quick look around. This is Danny and Mandy's shop.
It's terrible. Don't judge me.
This is like heaven, brother.
It's very unfinished. It has been very unfinished for a long time.
This is all you guys need to know right here. Dual mini splits, brother.
Ignore this one that has an error message on it. Yeah, see, because this is just going to land on the cage of the bearing, which means as soon as I try to press this off, it's just going to destroy the cage, and rollers are probably going to go flying everywhere.
Damn.
And then I'll be able to get the inner race off, most likely.
It's always got to be a pain.
Somebody on the internet is going to tell me I'm a fucking idiot for this, but that's okay.
If I weld the Twin Towers, the fucking plane would have just bounced right off that motherfucker. It's like welding.
Yeah.
It's like welding groups.
If I can't find the tool I need, it's probably on the floor somewhere. Yeah, it's just going to immediately start pushing on that bearing. You can tell it's already deforming the cage, and there's a lot of pressure on that. I can put it on the press and it's just gonna explode the cage. I just don't like that because it makes a mess because these little rollers go everywhere.
Yeah.
And you'll never pick them all up, and then you'll find one and you'll almost eat shit by stepping on it. It's terrible.
Yeah, you'll be rolling under a car and you'll feel something in your back. And it's one of those. All right. Oh, whoa. So we don't need the press, potentially.
Potentially. This is just gonna make a mess over here instead of over at the press.
Ooh, nice.
This goes here.
Oh,
this pushes against the center part and then pulls up on the splitter. So I just need something that fits the inside the bearing on the end there.
Dope.
I'm that lucky.
What the hell is that thing?
Hey, I am that lucky.
Oh my god. What is that?
I honestly don't know. It's something for this weird fixture setup for this Harbor Freight welding table. I have no idea how these are meant to be used, but you know what? It's the exact right size.
It was meant to be. We'll see how strong these little pieces of metal are.
They're definitely like cheap, like powdered aluminum, so it's probably just gonna explode. But that's fine. Everything's just gonna explode.
All right.
Oh, bearing's
It's
moving.
coming. Oh. Hey,
I thought there was no chance I
Yo.
was doing that.
dude.
So that came out clean.
Dude, now you have a new way to get them off. This thing.
Yeah, except for when they're really stuck, that probably won't work. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's fine. It's
I'm
working right now.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't stuck considering how hot it got.
Yeah. Probably didn't need to replace these, but whatever.
Might as well. I mean, they are 13 years old now. They were new 13 years old or 13 years ago. I've probably only put like 20,000 miles on my car in like 13 years or something. But
Just Corolla things.
yeah, you know, just
Because it was probably broken for half of
yeah,
that time span.
it was reliable until I started taking the engine out.
It was reliable until it wasn't.
Yeah, it was reliable when it had your built 16 valve in there, and then as soon as I pulled that out and started,
Yeah, you gave it back to me and it threw a rod.
I guess it wouldn't have been reliable either way. I do miss that engine. I even have the 20 valve and everything in mine, and I still like
That
long.
block is over here.
Oh yeah.
It's over in the car here. It's that block.
Yeah. So this block was in Danny's race car for a long time, and then he sold it to me, and I ran it for years, and then I
see.
sold it back to him,
All the cobwebs, ignore that. Which rod was it?
and it blew up.
It was this one. You can see it's all beat up around the base of the
yeah.
piston.
He wasn't even driving it hard. He was just driving it to work.
Yeah, I literally like pulled up to work after cruising on the freeway, and I just did one little pull, like one. Blah. I didn't even take it to red line. It was like maybe $6,000, and then I let off, and it went and just died. took it apart and there was just a rod wedged in between the crankshaft and the side of the block. It's like cool.
Great. But that led to this full 7A build.
Honestly, it was running great. It just, I keep having keyway failures on the crank, and now the end of the crank is kind of worn down from all the times the pulley has like started wobbling on it.
Yeah.
So I just don't think there's any saving this crankshaft at this point, not at least without spending a lot of money at a machine shop. So
yeah.
It's going to be getting a new crank, rods, the whole nine. Like, it's going to be like the third time I've taken this engine apart and completely rebuilt it from the ground up.
Yeah, we're starting to get pretty good at it.
That's going to be the temporary replacement, which was the engine that it did replace.
Yeah.
Whatever, circle jerk of 4AGs, but that is going to get rods. It's basically just a stock big port, but I'm going to throw some spicy rods in it so it can live at high RPM, throw some big cams in it, and see what it does.
So
it's basically going to be what that old engine was.
Yeah.
Which was like a pretty much stock small port. But, actually completely bone stock long block minus cams and ITVs and revving it to the moon, and it did good.
Yeah, I mean, it made like 142 horsepower. I'll like put the dyno video like right here. So yeah, like it did really well. I loved it, dude. I'm still chasing that fucking vibe, dude.
I know, same. So honestly, I might love this engine in that car because the only reason that engine died was because the rod bolts broke. So now I'm gonna be putting good rods and bolts in it, so it should live for a while.
Hell
at least.
Yeah! All right, bearing number 2.
Let's see how this one goes. God, I'm just fucking terrified.
This one is fixing to explode. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Something slipped. Oh. I broke this thing.
Oh my god.
I blew the center out of it.
No. All right, victim number 2. This one's steel. So it's gotta be good.
Terrified.
Oh god.
Nope, it's moving.
Let's go. Nice.
That was only moderately stressful.
Yo, we don't have bearings everywhere. That's awesome. How's she looking?
Yep.
Good?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Sure.
Dope.
Whatever.
Sick. So he's gonna sign my bearings.
I actually don't know if these are like lapped to each other or not, the outer race and the inner bearing. Usually you can buy outer races and inner bearings separately, so I don't think it matters. But just for the hell of it, I'm marking these so that I can keep one side with the other side.
I see.
So since these did come as a package with both the inner and outer race,
Makes
I'm
sense.
probably just a freaking idiot, but you know.
Hey, you can never be too sure, all right?
I just want to do right, even though I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, now I can't get them mixed up between left and right.
Perfect.
So
what now? Just hit it with a fat fucking hammer?
yeah, a really really big hammer. You just gotta make sure you're really accurate, because if you're crooked, you can press the bearing on crooked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're watching the Hydraulic Press channel. It's almost there.
Should be there. Felt like a bottom now.
Oh, it's got like a little gap.
Oh no, I'm an idiot.
You're not dumb, you're just big bone, dude.
No, because I need to support it because the diff pokes through the bearing, so I just bottomed out against the housing here, so I need something to support the bearing to keep pressing it down.
Oh, fun.
Which I'll actually use the race.
Oh, the old bearing race?
Yeah.
Nice.
This is probably also another no-no you're not supposed to use.
This looks pretty good, this head right here.
Yeah, it's me. You throw it out your motor and go 16 valve.
Looks real clean. Bro, don't tempt me, bro.
So now I just need something to support this guy.
I'm working, you know why I'm working on that valve cover? Not so I can print a 20 valve cover, but so I can print a 20 valve cover that looks like a 16 valve cover. It's gonna really fuck people up, dude. If I can get that done, I was thinking about just doing a cover like the beams, just bolts down over the top of it.
That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, so like,
dude, I bet people would buy that shit too.
right? People would like look in there and be like, oh, it's a 16 valve, and then they would notice the VVT like solenoid and shit, and they'd be like, what the fuck? All right.
There it goes.
Oh yeah, she going.
Right there.
Yeah. Solid. Take a peek. Nice. Dope. Sweet. Hey. All right, folks, we got a 16 valve head. Another 16 valve head. Is there any other ones around here?
Probably. Keep looking.
Yeah, keep looking. We'll run into one. They're
not even counting the ones that are on engines.
yeah, there's probably one in the yard somewhere. Bearing number 2. Beautiful.
Nice.
Nice. Nice. All right.
So I was just talking about the pinion depth and how there's actually like really fancy tools you can get to actually physically measure your pinion depth. And I could be wrong because I've never done this before this way because I don't have those tools, but the number that's stamped on the pinion right here, I believe this is the pinion depth number you're supposed to get. And that number, again, I could be completely wrong. I believe it's from the face of the pinion gear to the center line of where the diff sits in the housing.
Okay.
So you basically need like a fancy tool with like a dial indicator or whatever and a bar that you bolt into the housing to measure how far the pinion is sitting from this center line.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any of that crap. So all we can do is put this in, check our contact pattern on the using marking compound on the ring gear and the pinion and see if it looks good.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it's probably going to look like crap. If this rear end was like, you know, started coming apart and was howling and stuff, it probably messed up the pattern.
Yeah.
So we're probably just going to cross our fingers and hope that this pinion depth is correct with the new bearing and just set our backlash and see if it's good.
All right. Fingers crossed.
The sort of correct, cheaper way to do this is to, like I was just talking about, set your, use marking compound on your diff and check your contact pattern between the pinion and the ring gear. And then adjust your pinion depth and your backlash until your contact pattern is sitting right where you want it on the tooth.
I see.
There's a whole art behind that with guys that set up rear ends. So.
And that basically just compensates for this bearing not being exactly in the right spot.
Right, and you'll have differences in bearings, you'll have differences in how the housings are machined and stuff like that, but this number is basically how they essentially lapped these gears together when they manufactured them.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna basically set these up to be designed to run at a certain contact pattern, which they know based on this number how far this should be sitting from where the diff sits.
Okay. And that contact pattern is the difference between a whiny diff and a not whiny diff?
Yeah, or a strong and a weak diff too.
Okay.
Like if you're on the, God, I'm such a noob with this. There's a heel and a coast side on the tooth. I believe the concave side of the tooth is the coast side. The convex side is the drive side. But you basically want to target vertically sitting as close to center as possible from the top to the bottom of the tooth. And you want to be slightly towards the inside if you're searching for strength, basically, because that means when a load is applied, the tooth is going to flatten out, and this is essentially going to be trying to drive out on the tooth. Okay. So if your contact pattern is a little towards the inside, when you apply a load to the diff, it's going to move to the center, and that's going to be where it's going to be the strongest.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if it moves to the edge, you can just shear off your ring gear, basically.
Right, and there's probably going to be a million experts in the comment arguing about this. Well, not really a million, because we're going to get like 10 views.
Yeah.
There'll be one expert in the comments telling me I'm an idiot for this. But that's like, it's just like, welding, like we were talking about earlier. There's, everybody has a different way of doing it. Everybody is convinced that their way is right, and nobody really can say one way or the other.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But the generally accepted wisdom is that you want to get your contact patch as close to center overall in the tooth. If you want it to be as quiet as possible, if you want it to be as strong as possible, you can fudge that a little bit towards the inside.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. First comment. I gave it 2 poles. She don't fucking grenade. Now we're cleaning the shit out of it because it's covered in gear oil. And don't worry, guys. This is the environmentally friendly brake clean. It's actually made to, you could spray it in your garden. It helps the plants.
not gardening advice.
At Danny's house, you would see some shit like this. You see this pile? You got an 8.6 fender, a Beams intake manifold, a Fujitsu muffler, and a microwave.
You never know you got your microwave.
Hey! Good technique.
Thanks. You gotta shake it.
Yeah.
You would know all about shaking.
Yeah. All right, folks. Bad news.
So after looking a little bit more, because we didn't like properly clean off the ring and pinion and like thoroughly inspect it last time, all we did was saw like the heat discoloration on the ring gear. But looking closer at the pinion, like looks like the surface almost started to fail along this edge, and you can see it's almost starting to gall and like get real nasty and worn down on the edges of the tooth. So I don't think your crush sleeve failed. I think you overheated the rear end, and then the ring and pinion just started to fail.
Well, so, it was 96 degrees, and we were beating the shit out of it. I'll cut to a clip right here. I also overheated the crap out of the car a couple of times. So.
Yeah. So we could honestly probably put this back together, and it'd be great, and you'd have a bunch of new bearings, but it would be just as loud as when you took it apart, because it's the ring and pinion itself that started to fail, I believe. And you could probably see some of this discoloration too on video. But
all right.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So it pretty much came down to do you want to build this rear end once, or do you want to build it twice? So I think he's leaning towards wanting to build it one time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a new ring and pinion. Battle Garage, if you're seeing this, sponsor me, please. No, I'll just get a new. I'll get the rear 4.3, and then we can put it back together.
You sound so sad.
Yeah, it's fucking $400, dude. That's fair. But also, it's like I don't want this to shear off or be like. I don't want the metal itself to be weak from from overheating the shit out of it.
Yeah, we spend all the.
Read it, and it's gonna be loud as heck.
Yeah, I just don't want these to shear off potentially for any reason and then fill my LSD with metal. So I would rather just get new shit if it's like looking like that, because it definitely looks thinner right there.
Yeah. Like I said, it just looks like whatever surface on the ring and pinion. I don't know if they like heat treat these or do any kind of surface finishing to make them stronger on the top layer, but whatever top layer was on this ring and pinion started to kind of come apart, it looks like. So
yeah, and I want to bring this back to Spirit Peaks and beat the shit out of it and not worry about it blowing up, so I'll just get new shit for it. So yeah, but thanks for getting me this far, brother.
I love spending your money.
Hell yeah. All right, Danny's now that we're not doing my diff right now, because I gotta buy some parts, Danny's over here stripping this 16 valve down, because there's not enough disassembled 16 valves around here.
I gotta add to them. Oh, that's annoying. Just stay there. That's gonna fall and make a mess. But
Yeah. Now you guys get a surprise lesson on how to disassemble a 4age.
it's a lot of 10 millimeters.
Yep.
Like my custom timing gear.
Whoa, that is very interesting. So for that, right? So
Yep.
it knows.
So it knows where the TDC is. And that guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, see?
hey.
You know what?
If it
I beat
works.
the shit out of this car with that crank sensor on it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, it worked really good. As you guys can see, these engines are incredibly simple, and it takes like 0 time to pull these things apart.
This is why I never moved on from 4AGs, because they're just too easy to work on.
That's true.
That's not gonna work. I need to do the ghetto method.
The flat head on the fucking aluminum head method.
Yep.
Hell yeah, brother. Look at them clean cams. Oh,
Really clean head.
My God, look at that. My head looks exactly the opposite. It's just stained brown in there.
This is a really clean head.
Damn, son.
Damn.
You could tell he's done this before.
A couple times.
Got the speed. Now let's drop one of the cams on the ground flat. See what happens.
Drop it on the ground and see if it breaks. If it breaks, it's a cheap, shitty camshaft.
Yeah, obviously.
Fucking internet.
Yeah, you got to do the drop test on them. If I welded this cam, would have fucking, you could have thrown it off the World Trade Center. Would have hit the ground, terminal velocity, and broke the fucking earth.
Split the planet
Yeah.
in two. Is there something fun about that? About having like a super peaky power band and just like, I don't know, it's just fun to drive.
Right? It's like, I just,
It makes no sense. It's not good for 90% of like, driving, but it makes it fun. So
Yep.
whatever.
just no power on the low end. And then as soon as it hits like 5,000 RPMs, BAM! Full power.
At the end of the day, it's a 4AG. It's not going to make that much power anyway. So
Yeah.
if you can do something to make it more fun to drive, why not?
Right? I will say I had more fun in the 280 cam built head 16 valve that had made no power below 4,000 RPM than my F20C, my black top 20 valve, my silver top 20 valve, all of those engines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Didn't do the satisfying click.
No, not on that one.
Bullshit. Oh yeah, there it is.
Shorter extension.
As you guys can see, it takes no time at all to get the head off.
There's a bit of scoring, but I'm just going to run it.
Right up here at the top.
Well, just these vertical lines, I guess I'm probably mostly just feeling the cross hatching when I do that.
Hell yeah.
Because I can't really
Looks pretty good.
find a defined groove anywhere. Although it may have been coming close. You see you see this line
Oh yeah.
of like carbon buildup? That is this spot on the head. I try not to lose all my shins. But that's this edge on the head. So you can see how close it's coming to the piston with.
Oh yeah.
It almost looks like it may have touched it just a tiny bit right there, but
Damn.
I can't run a thinner gasket than that on there.
I mean, she has some.
But that's actually perfect then. If it's coming that close but not actually touching,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bad news. As you saw, back from Danny's house, and I smoked the ring and pinion. I smoked the ring gear and the pinion gear. A lot to think about. I'm probably gonna buy just the Weir 4.3 off of Battle Garage. However, I'll probably buy the 4.3 Weir off of Battle Garage, but the 477 is really tempting just because the car was just gonna feel so much faster. However, I'm gonna like have a top speed of like 110, and it's gonna be rapid out on the freeway. So that's something to think about. I'm gonna have to pinch my pennies for a little bit before I can pick that up to get that in here. But there's a lot to do before I need to put the rear end back in. That's gonna be pretty quick. I still have to do all those things that I talked about earlier in the video, all those gaskets and seals and painting the stuff and just getting it back on the ground, just getting it reliable. So look forward to more videos. I'm going to be doing videos on that stuff. Although I am bummed about the ring and pinion, it is what it is. Usually when you blow up your rear end, you got to replace everything. So, you know, it's nice I don't have to replace the actual diff, because that's really expensive. So, you know, the fact that I only have to do the ring and pinion and all the bearings and stuff, it's not too big of a deal. And that'll be nice because, you know, I'll have a solid pinion spacer. So hopefully it doesn't fail again. But yeah, it got so hot at the track that it literally toasted the ring gear, which is crazy. I didn't think it would happen. But yeah, next time I go drifting on like a 96-degree day, I might, you know, do less laps, let it cool down or something. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I mean, like and subscribe if you care. If not, whatever. Thanks for watching anyway, and I'll see you next time. Peace.